Hi, this is Ayanna with Black Atheists of America. Welcome to our 11th session of The Bible Actually Says. In this series, we discuss the Bible. We move through the Bible as it should be read, cover to cover. Today, I have with me Ray, who is also a member of Black Atheists of America. While we will not be reading every verse, we may choose to quote the Bible. If so, just know that we will be using the King James Version. We will start by recapping last week's show, then pick up where we ended off, and go through as many verses as time permits. I hope you enjoy the discussion. Please feel free to comment and subscribe. So last week we kind of did the story of Noah. We concluded the story of Noah, and Noah dies at the ripe age of
950, I think.
Yeah, give or take 900 and over 900 years. So now we're starting fresh, chapter 10. And this is kind of similar to chapter 5, where we have a lot of lineage. So we're not going to bore you with everything here. But I think it's quite interesting to note that a lot of these verses are only noting the sons that were born, because as you know from last week's show, God got rid of everybody and during the flood, and he decided that he wanted Noah's family to repopulate the earth. So that's where we are. Noah's now dead, and his sons are repopulating the earth. So Japheth has 7 sons, Gomer has 3 sons, Javan has 4 sons, Ham has 4 sons, Cush has 5 sons, Ramah has 2 sons. And there's just really extensive lineage here. But one of the things that I did want to note was verse 5. We're in chapter 10, verse 5, where it says, "By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided into their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families, in their nations." And we have a similar verse a little bit further down that basically says the same thing, and that's in verse 31, where it says, "These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, in their lands, after their nations."
Oh, so they all start speaking different languages.
Right. They build these cities, these extensive cities, and they form their own languages.
I always wondered why that was. Why everybody didn't speak the same language. You got Japanese, Spanish. Always wondered why that was. So this is why.
Yes, they were smart enough, or maybe not, to form these different countries, and within these different countries, they have their own native tongues.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So verse 32 concludes the chapter, and it reads, "These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in their nations, and by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood." So we're going to move on to Genesis 11.
And the very first line says, "And the whole earth was of one tongue and of one speech." That sounds kind of contradictory, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, not for nothing, but
we just read two
the
verses.
line before it.
Right. Two lines prior.
Everybody spoke different languages. Okay, so now they're back to all speaking one language.
And verse 2, "And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there." I'm not really sure who they're speaking of, because we went through a lot of, we skipped over, but there was a lot of lineage in chapter 10. So it's not really clear who they are in this chapter. I don't think it's explained well either in chapter 10.
"And they said to one another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar." Slime?
Yeah. I mean, you didn't think Nickelodeon created slime, did you?
I did. I did.
You're sadly
Well,
mistaken.
maybe they just created green slime.
Perhaps. But apparently, I didn't know you could use that to, to assist with constructing a brick and mortar.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have mortar, you always use slime.
I didn't know it was that durable. Silly me.
And they said, "Go to, let us build a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven," wherever heaven is. "And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth."
So they want to make sure that they can find each other, or that they have, I guess, some type of connection. I'm guessing, right?
That's what that means. Let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the. So if they don't have a name, they'll be scattered.
Right. Well, it's a way to connect. So they're like, "Well, what should we call ourselves?"
Oh, I understand now, because before they all had different languages and they could identify themselves by language, but now in this next chapter they all lost that and they're all back to one language, and they don't want to be scattered, so they figured they'll get themselves a name, and that way they'll know each other.
It's funny because even in the previous chapters, though, they had kingdoms, so they had names already that should suffice, even in the absence of different languages. But hey, maybe they want extra security, so they want a new name.
Yeah. Well, let's see what they do. Maybe they get a new name.
"And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded."
How come he just didn't look out of his window? And
I don't know, but did he? Well, we'll see later if he communicated with them.
and how come the children had to build the city?
That's how you build mighty men. But the fact that there are children is notable, because remember before they didn't have
Oh,
kids.
yeah, they didn't even have children before.
So now they have children and adults.
So as soon as they get children, they go straight to child labor.
They didn't have child labor laws back then. "And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do." I think God's a little confused.
I think God's worried about a union. I think that's what he's worried about. These guys might start unionizing. You know.
But he seems to almost be encouraging the fact that they all have one language. Don't worry about this. Don't worry. Well, or unless you're saying that.
He seems worried to me. He says, "And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do." In other words, he might not be able to control them. You know, they might get a union rep and a boss. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the last ones had evil in their hearts or something along those lines. So now he's trying again. This is actually round 3? This is round 3 for humans, because we had Uno. Uno disappeared. And we had Adam and Eve, and they had friends. Then he wiped them out with Noah.
Yeah, and now it looks like he's talking to his boyfriend again, because he says in line 7, "Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." So he wants to screw them up.
Yeah, he doesn't like this
camaraderie.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, he ain't liking that.
I think he's just worried. He's a paranoid schizophrenic. I mean,
It's got to be.
I don't think we need a rational response.
Yeah, he's paranoid over nothing.
Yeah, he's just like, oh no, these people they like each other. I got to ruin this.
Yeah, and they're building a tower.
Yeah, he doesn't need to explain his schizophrenia.
So anyway, he comes down and he destroys their language, so they can't understand each other. Therefore, number 8.
9.
Number 8, it says, "So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city."
Yeah, how did he scatter them? Did he just pick somebody up and move them? Or
Well, maybe he set forth a mighty wind.
yeah,
That's
that's
how he
kind
got
of
the water to
annoying.
scatter, right?
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Like
Y-
you're just sitting there chilling with your family, and the Lord's like, "All right, well, you don't belong here anymore. I'm gonna put you over here, like on the
Yeah.
other side of the earth."
Yeah, he's paranoid. He wants them gone. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
You know what's funny? I think God actually thought that this was a genius idea. Like he might not have realized that it was already done a chapter ago. He's like, you know what? What would be genius if none of them spoke the same language?
Yeah, which they had already had it like that.
Yeah, but he probably doesn't know. You know, he's
He's
got the
forgetful.
he's forgetful. He just doesn't get it.
Yeah, he's got to lay off the burnt animals. He's really got to cut back on that because he can't remember stuff now.
So we're back to this lineage stuff, and again, I'm not gonna go through all of this, but I did want to note. Again, we have people living hundreds of years, but what you'll notice now is that people are number one having their children a lot earlier. If you look even at as early as verse 12, where it says, Arphax lived 35 years and begot Salah. So now we're having children a lot younger than we were before. And people are still living, extent a really long time. Although the only person who actually dies in this chapter is Terah, and Terah, oddly enough, only lived 205 days. So now, for some reason, people are living a lot. People are living a lot. Are having a much shorter lifespan.
Yeah, but didn't God say that lifespan was only going to go to 120 years?
Well, he's getting around to it. You see how far back. I mean, some of these people are still living hundreds of years, but we have people that are now having kids at acceptable ages, arguably, even in today's society, in the 30s. So,
Yeah, well, that's true, but look at here. In line 11, Shem lived after he begot Arphax 500 years. And he begot sons and daughters. So
yeah.
it's kind of like a mix,
Yeah, he's kind of, God, he's easing his way into it. He can't just go out there and do what he says he's going to do, because that wouldn't be God.
Yeah.
He has to say something and then make it not true. What's interesting is I don't think these people's lives are being shortened, and they didn't walk with God. Remember last time?
Yeah, he's trying to make good on that 120-year promise.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why, but
He needed people to live a long time before, because he can't get enough of those dead animals. You see, but now that he has all of these people around and they all have children, he's got a whole bunch of them to go to, so he doesn't need them to live 900 and 1,000 years. When you just had Adam and Noah and those guys, there's only a handful of people. So
I agree.
he worked them really, really hard, and he made them live a long, long time. But now that they have all of these children, he's like, if I don't get it from one, I'll get it from the next one.
Yeah, and now he's going to have them compete.
Yeah.
So now we're on Genesis 12, verse 1, and it reads, Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will shew thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing.
Well, he's saying this to Abram.
Mm-hmm.
So how come he likes that guy?
I don't know. He just kind of picked somebody out of the crowd again. And he was like, you're going to be the leader, and I'm going to give you all these wonderful things, and I'm going to guess that it's at the expense of others.
And number 3 says, and I will bless them. Did we ever find out what that word bless mean?
No, well, it seems to change definition every time it's used. Because blessed, remember, we had one definition where it meant to make a woman have kids. Remember, that was
Yeah, I
Eve's.
remember that.
Right. So I don't really know what it means other than that, but it's just something that's constantly brought up, and it seems to have new meaning. So in this one, blessed may mean to have a great land.
Well, he says, well, let me finish the line. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curse thee. And in thee shall families of the earth be blessed. See, here we go again. God playing favoritism.
Yeah.
So anybody who likes this guy, he's going to like. And anybody who don't like this guy, he ain't going to like.
Not only is he not going to like, they're going to be cursed again. He's going back to this cursing thing, which he said he would no longer curse the land. But, I mean, I don't know if it's better to curse an individual.
He has a short fuse. He has a short fuse. He picks out a couple of people he like, and then everybody else is like on the ugly list. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. Okay, so let me just try to get this whole picture in my head here. So here you got a group of people that appear to be getting along fairly well. They started building a little tower. Guy gets all of his pennies all in a bunch again. He's all upset. He comes down and he says, I'm not liking this tower thing. So he tears up the tower, spreads everybody across the whole planet, and makes them speak a whole different language. And now that he's got everybody separated, he picks out this one guy and says, I like that guy.
And I'm going to... he's the teacher's pet.
He's the teacher's pet now. And he's going to bless everybody who likes that guy and curse everybody who don't like that guy. God just plays a lot of favorites. And then you wonder why you have so many wars.
And the interesting thing about that is that the punishment is never just. And,
it's arbitrary.
It's arbitrary, but you don't want to be a female and not like him.
No, because then it's not that arbitrary. Then it's rough.
So you better make sure you're not a female who does not get along with Abram.
And Abram took Sarah, his wife, and Lot, his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. Into the land of Canaan they came.
So they moved.
Yeah. God told them to move.
They packed up all their stuff and moved.
How come God couldn't just take care of them right where they were? Why did he make them move?
I don't know. How did he move the other people? Why didn't he just use the same method? He made them pack up.
He's just scattered the other people.
I know, which means made them move. He had to pick them up and move them
in a hurry, quick,
right.
Fast, and in a hurry.
Why didn't he do the same thing? I mean, I've moved a lot in my adult life, and I know packing is like the worst thing ever. They don't have the sophisticated like suitcases and stuff that I have nowadays. I'm just saying, it just seems like, I mean, maybe they have less stuff and all, but it just seems like a lot of unnecessary work. And God could have just like, helped them out.
And what was wrong with the land that they was in? I mean,
well, then God wouldn't have anything to do except for like, oh, you're my favorite. Yeah, you're my favorite, and I'm going to give you super duper land. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. So it's my understanding that Canaan is already occupied by Ham and his family. Because I think in Genesis 10, although we kind of brushed over it, I from my understanding, verses 18 through 20, they're explaining.
Because God wouldn't give somebody else's land. He wouldn't do that.
Well, that's how we start wars. You occupy somebody else's territory.
Okay, here it is.
So yeah, in Genesis 10, 18 through 20, he's the Ham's family has already I guess claimed this territory to be theirs. And so now God's like, I'm going to give you this awesome land. Just move all your crap, you and your family, and come with me. And so they do.
Yeah, that says so right here. Yeah, Ham's family, 18, 19, and 20. You're right. They're already there.
So
So what's he going to do? Just kick them out?
Or he's probably waiting for bloodshed. I mean, he likes the smell of
That's what it is.
burning flesh. So he's going to see how Abram holds up, I'm guessing. That's my guess. I don't know. We'll find out, huh? So we're on chapter 12 and verse 7. And the Lord appeared unto Abram.
What?
And said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him.
Okay, now wait a minute. Okay. Now, I thought you couldn't see the Lord.
I thought so too. It doesn't necessarily in the defense of whoever.
And the Lord appeared unto Abram. That's
appeared.
pretty clear.
Does that mean Abram saw him, or?
It doesn't get no clearer. He appeared unto Abram. That's what it says.
Well, the Christians got
And
it wrong
said,
again.
Unto thy seed I will give this land. But he already gave it to the Canaanites.
Well, I know. I think they kind of
and family.
Right. I think that they kind of discovered it on their own. Remember, he just said to populate the earth, and then they basically kind of created it. Now he's going back and giving this land to Abram.
Oh, you know what? The rest of this line explains the whole thing. And there he built it an altar unto the Lord who appeared to him. Now it makes sense.
Well, for the burning sessions.
Now it makes sense. I got this whole thing down now. You see, he got this guy away from everybody else because he wants somebody just to build an altar so he could snort some more animals.
Right.
That's
exactly
what it's all about. He's starting to Jones again. And he's like, yo, okay, you got to get out of here. Build me another altar because, like, I need this.
Well, yeah, and then he's going to an area that's probably already occupied by others, and they're going to hate him.
Hey, but he said he's going to curse
right,
whoever.
But if you curse, maybe your punishment is burning at the stake.
Yeah.
So.
And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Ai on the east. And there he built it an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. What the hell is the name of the Lord anyway? I keep reading that.
I don't know. I think they're just saying he called the Lord by his name, Lord.
Think the name of the Lord is Lord?
Either that or God.
Anyway, and Abram journeyed going still toward the south.
And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land.
He gave him a land full of famine?
Now that is messed up.
I know, right?
There was no indication prior that he was having any issues with food. And he's like, God's like, hey, follow me. I got this great land. I'm going to bless you, your family. You're going to live it up. You're going to have this great nation. Yeah. And two, I will make of thee a great nation. And then you give him this crappy ass land.
I know, that really sucks.
He moved his whole family, for crying out loud.
This really sucks. I mean, that sucks. Because now, I mean, the guy's doing what the Lord told him to do. He said, the Lord says, look, yeah, I need my drugs, all right? This is what I want you to do. Build me an altar. I'm going to give you some cool land, all right, for you to do all of this with. And all I want you to do is build this altar thing for me, and we're cool. And he gets there, and he gives them a land full of famine. And the people that were on it, what happens to those people?
they're probably going to die. But remember, he killed off Uno that way too.
Oh, yeah, he sure did.
So, but it gets worse. And it came to pass when he came, I'm sorry. And it came to pass when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarah his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. So now he picked up his family, moved his family to this great nation that the Lord had promised him.
Yeah.
And now, not only is there a famine, but he's in danger of his life. And he has to tell his wife now, hey, I'm going to be killed, but they're going to spare you your life. And God doesn't even like women. So,
you know, sometimes being God's friend is not a good thing. But I guess that brings us to the close of another Bible session. And what did we learn today? Well, I learned something important. If you know how to speak a different language, don't tell God. This is Ray signing off.
And this is Ayanna with Black Atheists of America. Thank you for listening. Please feel free to subscribe and comment.